Our cities are just buzzing with data. Every single second, there's a new construction permit, a new property sale. It's like this constant digital heartbeat. But honestly, how do you make sense of all that noise? Well, today we're going to look at an AI system that's designed to do just that, to listen to that heartbeat and translate it into something we can actually understand. So, let's get into it.
So to make this real, we're going to look at an actual example, CityPulse San Francisco. And listen, this isn't just some research project. It's a live platform right now, delivering insights for all 11 of the city's districts. It's basically our window into seeing how this AI really works out there in the wild.
And really, this all boils down to one huge question. In this age of just so much data, how does something as complex as a city, it's practically a living organism, how does it actually see itself in real time? How does it connect all the dots between everything that's going on?
You see, the problem isn't that cities don't have enough data. Oh no, it's the opposite. They're literally drowning in it. So, the real trick, the big challenge, is how you turn that absolute flood of information into something, anything, that people can actually use to make better decisions.
Just think about it for a second. You've got permit data over here in one system, property assessments are in a totally different one. Zoning rules, they're buried in some PDF somewhere, and the new development plans are stuck in a bunch of spreadsheets. They don't talk to each other. They're all in their own little boxes, which makes seeing the big picture, well, pretty much impossible.
So what do city leaders actually need? They can't dig through all that raw data. They need something like this, a simple high-level briefing. Take a look. In just one glance, you can see there are 451 active permits, worth almost $28 million. That's the kind of snapshot, that at-a-glance insight that you could never, ever get from just looking at a massive spreadsheet.
And it's not just about what's being built, it's about the financial health of the whole area. And what's just mind-blowing about this is the scale. We're talking about a total property value of nearly $23 billion. That's billion with a B, in just one district. Imagine trying to keep track of all that.
And of course, it's not just about the numbers. It's about where. Where is all this stuff happening? This map just nails the challenge, right? It's plotting the real-time locations of all 451 of those active permits. Every single one of those dots is a story. It's a project. It's a change happening to the city right now.
Okay, so how on earth do you solve a problem this big? Well, that's exactly where a system like CityPulse comes into play. You can think of it as a kind of urban navigator. It's like a brand new window into the city's incredibly complex nervous system.
And honestly, the magic is right here on this slide. It connects the flat, 2D world of dashboards and boring reports, that's what you see on the left, with this amazing interactive 3D model of the actual city on the right. It's all about taking that data out of the spreadsheet and putting it back where it belongs, in the real world.
Okay, so that all looks great, but how does it actually work under the hood? Let's trace the journey of just one single piece of data, say a building record, and see how it gets brought to life inside this whole system.
So it all starts with a simple file upload. The system grabs that file, checks to make sure the data is good, and then, this is super important, it figures out a unique ID for that specific building. After that, it bundles up all the related info into what it calls an intelligence package, and then comes the really cool part. It links that package to its digital twin, its 3D version in the model.
So, if we pop the hood and look at the technical side, this is what's going on. That file you uploaded, it zips through something called an API gateway to this specialized little program, a microservice, called the Building Ingestion Service. You can see it right there in the diagram. That little service is the engine that does all the hard work, all the validation and processing we just mentioned. All right, so the data's loaded into the system. Now what? What happens when you, the user, actually ask a question? Well, this is where the AI copilot steps in, and you need to think of it less like a search engine and more like a really, really smart project manager.
At the very heart of this thing is what they call an orchestration broker, and it's powered by an AI from Anthropic named Claude. Now, Claude's job isn't to know everything. Instead, its job is to know how to find the answers. It orchestrates all the other parts of the system, kind of like a conductor leading an orchestra. And it does this using a really cool AI concept called tool use. The best way to think about it is like this. If you ask a human project manager a tough question, they're not just going to guess the answer, right? They'll pick up the phone, they'll check a database, they'll look at a map. Well, tool use lets the AI do the exact same thing, but with software tools.
And check this out.
This slide makes it super real. This isn't just theory. This is Claude's actual toolkit. I mean, look how simple the tool names are. It needs to know about permits? Boom, there's Get Permit History. Needs to know about zoning? It's got a tool for that. It's basically like having a digital Rolodex of experts it can call on anytime.
So how does it know what to ask each of these tools? Well, it uses a simple schema, which is really just a little form it has to fill out. So for example, to find a building, the AI knows it needs to provide either a street address or a parcel number or even just GPS coordinates. It's this simple structure that lets the AI talk to all these different systems without getting confused.
Okay, let's recap. We've got all the data loaded in. We have an AI that can use tools to go find it. Now we get to the truly powerful part. This is where we make two totally different types of data, the civic stuff and the spatial stuff, actually start talking to each other. So on one hand, you have CityPulse. It knows all the civic stuff, permits, property values, who owns what, all that jazz. Then, on the other hand, you've got Nextbase. It knows the physical, spatial stuff, how tall a building is, what's next to it, where the shadows fall, whether it's in a flood zone. Two completely different worlds of information.
And this two-way reasoning loop is what brings them together. Here's how it works, step by step. First, CityPulse flags a building based on civic data, maybe because its value changed. Then, Claude gets asked to take a look. It reaches out with its tools to Nextbase to get the spatial context, like, hey, is this building in a flood zone? And then for the finale, it combines both the civic and the spatial info to give back one single smart answer.
And this quote from the people who built it really just nails the whole idea. It's all about combining these two different kinds of evidence, the civic and the spatial, to create something brand new. Not just more data, but an actual risk assessment, or a solid recommendation.
And this is what it's all for. This is the end result. You go from a total mess of disconnected spreadsheets and databases to this. A living, breathing, queryable digital twin of the entire city. It's a place where you can finally see not just what's going on, but how it's all connected.
Which kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? This kind of technology makes it possible to have a whole new kind of conversation with our cities. So I'll leave you with this question. If you had this kind of power, if you could ask your city absolutely anything and get a truly intelligent answer back, what would you ask?